This episode of Grilled is sponsored by Rationale, your leading provider in multifunctional hot food preparation equipment. Register now for a free Rationale live demo at www.rationale-online.com.
Oh, that's very tough. I think I'd choose Gordon Ramsay. He's a pussycat compared to my wife.
Arsenal are just like a nothing team now, aren't they?
Ooh. I personally think he was fucking his PA, he was bringing his PA for lunch, and she was a vegan.
Nobody ever called it foraging. He was just scratching around in dirt.
Yeah, Hulstone's got some habits, all right.
The prostitute, football, and Gordon Ramsay, and 4% dwarfs. That is obviously true.
Firstly, Nicola Sturgeon should fuck off.
Last time I was in Thailand, I ate a raw buffalo and its offal and blood and bile larb.
That's some fat, bloated, bearded mess.
By which C word do you mean? Because if I'm thinking of the C word to go with the government, it's a very different one to the one that you might be talking about.
Welcome to Series 3 of Grilled by the Staff Canteen. I'm Cara, the editor of the Staff Canteen, and if you enjoy this podcast, please do recommend us or rate us where you get your podcast, because the more listeners, the better. The first 6 episodes of our third series are all about keeping it in the family. So I'm talking to those in hospitality who have braved working with family. My guests today are a husband and wife team. Their restaurant, The Elephant in Torquay, has held a Michelin star for over 15 years. And Google Simon and you'll find plenty of pages dedicated to his decorated career. Nothing controversial though, which surprises me. But his wife, Katy, has managed to keep her life off the internet. So I'm interested to find out more about her. So Katy and Simon Hulstone, welcome to Grilled.
Hello, Cara.
Good morning.
Hello, how are you both?
All good. Very good, yeah. I'm wide awake. Katie's just got up.
No, I've already been up for ages. I'm always the first up in our house.
Are you? Simon already trying to make out that she's lazier than you. Right, so Katy, thank you for agreeing to join Simon. I'm sure he'll be on his best behaviour with you next to him. He's nodding there. So before we go into my first round of questions, Simon, you've won or competed in pretty much every chef competition that I can think of, which involves a lot of amazing trips as part of that experience. So I want to know, what's your best memory, funniest or standout story from one of those competitions? Because you did come up, I had a chat with Jordan Bailey and his wife Michelin the other day, yeah. And you were one of his favourite stories that he came up with. So I just wondered, have you got any of your own?
Oh God, I'd love to know that story. No, I've always been very good when I've been on my trips. Competition-wise, I think the biggest competition that I won back in '95 was the World Olympics. But to get to that, I had to do the national at Hotel Olympia. And I remember cooking away at that one, and everybody was sort of laughing and pointing and everything. And I couldn't work out what was going on. And my Kenwood mixer had caught fire, and it was whisking my meringue like absolutely crazy. And I had my commie was a guy called Stan Baxter. And he sort of was like kicking me in the back of the leg. And I'm like, look, I'm really bloody busy. I'm cracking on here. And turned around and this Kenwood was on fire, which was last time I used Kenwood mixers. But luckily we saved the day and went on to it. But I think that was a bit of a nightmare. And then the other one was when I won National Chef of the Year, that my commie threw my soup away, and I had to go and find it from the back of the kitchen. And it was in the washing up liquid, and I brought it out and I used it again. And Marco said it tasted very nice. Yeah. Pea soup and fairy liquid it flavoured of.
Did you tell them that it had that in afterwards?
No. It foamed up really well. That was the only thing. But
Brilliant. Well, this podcast isn't sponsored by Kenwood, you'll be glad to know. So that story is absolutely fine.
I won't even use their stereos anymore. All right.
Right, so now I'm going to put you both on the spot. I'm going to ask you a few Mr. and Mrs. style questions. So please feel free to be as honest as you like, the pair of you. So first question, who is the boss?
Oh, we both probably think we're the boss. I'm probably in charge at home, I would say.
She nags the most, and we just give in. Basically, that's how it works. Just lots of sulking and lots of nagging,
Not that
and
bad.
then it's just easy to just do it.
So yes, I'm in charge at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Katie's the boss. Next question. Who is the better driver?
Katy, without a doubt.
We were only discussing this the other day, actually, because obviously our eldest is thinking a couple of years and she'll be driving. And actually, it was one massive compliment that Simon thought I was a very good driver and a very good parker as well, parallel parker.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's me winning again.
So what's so bad about your driving, Simon?
Well, driving's not bad, but she's just a bit more, confident. I just want to keep going to the back seat and slapping the kids all the time. But
I think when I'm driving, I can drive with a lot of noise around me, like a lot of mothers can. So I don't get distracted by everything else, whereas you can get quite irritated by the children.
But whoever drives is in control of the stereo, so that's why I tend to drive most. Or I've listened to Aqua and Barbie Girl and stuff like that all day long.
Is that what's on your playlist, or are you taking a mic there?
No, that's hers.
That's what I mean.
Oh, God, yeah.
Not on the playlist.
Yeah, it is.
I do love a bit of that sort of stuff. No.
Yes.
I love that. That's such a guilty pleasure, Katy. So what's the first thing on your playlist, Simon?
I'm into the Idols at the moment. That's my sort of shouty music. Get a bit of anger out, and then I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm not really into rap. Don't mind a bit of gangster rap if I'm driving around Torquay, giving it some, but no, not really.
No.
More shouty stuff that the girls can scream to and learn new words that they never thought they'd ever hear.
Katie's raising her eyebrows there.
Yeah.
Katy, what is Simon's most annoying habit?
Oh my goodness.
Marriage.
Annoying habit. I'm just trying to think of something that just generally putting anything you wear straight into the laundry basket. That's quite annoying.
Yeah, that's a man thing, that, isn't it? Just dropping it and then...
Much easier just to dump it in there than to actually put anything away.
Yeah.
That probably would annoy me the most.
Would you agree, Simon?
It's mainly her stuff I'm picking up and putting into the laundry basket. Pulling all the dirty knickers and stuff out of the dog's mouth and stuff.
Making it sound like a crazy house. It is.
That's the best way. Wouldn't you want it would be dull if it wasn't crazy, right?
There's never a dull day here in the Hulstone household.
Simon, what is Katie's signature dish when she cooks at home?
Jesus. I'm not sure it's a signature. So I can go through the week if you want. So
just one is fine.
Mondays is normally soup. That's it. Tuesdays is jacket potato Tuesday.
No,
Thursday's jacket potato. Sorry. Yeah. Tuesday's spaghetti bolognese. Wednesday is normally just a piece of chicken and some vegetables. Thursday's jacket potato. Go out for dinner that day somewhere else. Friday it tends to be a curry normally, doesn't it? Saturday's always pizza, and Sunday's roast chicken.
Okay.
I would like to add, there's certain reasons why I have to do jacket potato, because I'm running around after all three children. So you can stick it in the oven, run around, and then job done when you come back. Simon hates jackets, as you can tell.
Yeah, it makes me feel poor. Yeah. It's a real weird thing. So I've worked really hard in my life to have like a nice kitchen and everything, and I get a jacket potato. It's just like...
I mean, I do a mixture of fillings.
We're not
I was going to say, what are the filling choices? Because I feel like you can judge up a jacket potato by what you put in it.
No.
I mean, we're pretty standard. We've got the tuna mayo, we've got the beans, we've got the cheese. Sometimes you can spice the beans up a bit. Nice little salad.
I just go Subway. It's easier.
Anyway, they all make fun of me on my meals.
They used to do this tuna bake thing with crunchy nut cornflakes on top.
Oh, that was nice.
Saturday night special, apparently it was called.
No, that's different. Saturday night special.
Yeah, tuna and pasta bake, and we put cornflakes on top of it.
Cornflakes?
Oh,
Just
God.
to give it that
Bit of crunch,
Crispiness on
apparently.
the top, yeah.
Do you know, I think I used to have that when I was a kid, but I think my mum used to put ready salted crisps on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you can do it with
She hated you as well.
I mean, really, you'd think with a chef that's so skilled, he would be able to prepare some of the family food, is what I would say.
Hmm.
Simon.
I mean, people think we eat really well, and actually, we probably not very well at all.
I hate cooking at home. I hate cooking in my own clothes. I just hate touching food in the house. It's just weird. I just don't relax with it at all. It's horrible.
Well, fortunately for you, your wife has a lovely weekly menu for you to enjoy. So,
Yeah. And unfortunately for me, we're on lockdown and I have to eat it. But normally I can go downstairs and the chefs will have staff food ready.
Life is tough, you see.
Katy, if Simon had to choose between Coventry being in the Premier League and the restaurant retaining its star, which would he want more?
Oh, that is a very difficult question.
Well, I think I'd rather keep the star.
Yeah, probably the star would win, I would say, but it would be a very close.
No, because we lose all the time and it's just horrible Saturdays.
And actually, he's used to Coventry not being that good, so he wouldn't ever expect them to be up there, to be honest. And years ago, I was dragged to a couple of games, but...
His dad used to play for Coventry.
Yeah, like maybe, I'm not going to diss them, but I'm just not a great football fan. But you know, when you do these things for your partner, and I have watched...
I go to ballet.
Exactly, there you are.
There's a slight...
Compromise.
Yeah.
Give and take, that's what it's all about.
I think Coventry were all right once, weren't they?
Yeah, they're still okay. I think they were one Saturday in a while. They've been okay.
You're a very loyal supporter, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, very loyal.
Well, so we're choosing the star over football.
Definitely stick with the star.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the star's more beneficial for ourselves as a family in a restaurant.
The star is just for you.
No, for the team, for the restaurant, everything for us. The
Football
football's
is
just my problem, isn't it? Yeah.
Your problem. Okay,
Final question from me.
Simon, what is Katy's party trick?
Party trick? Oh my God. Katy's never been to a party. Unless it's a 7-year-old's. Yeah.
You don't really have a party trick, do I?
No, not really. She's,
no hidden talent, no.
No, she can literally herd children from miles away and get them all to be good. That's about it. She's like the Pied Piper of kids. But I don't know. What would you say was your party trick?
No, I mean, I've got a few friends who do like the caterpillar, which is always very impressive, and I, may have attempted that, but nowhere near.
She doesn't drink. I don't get her drunk enough to do stuff.
Okay.
That's why I drink for her.
Do you have a party trick, Simon?
No. I'm just easily led.
Right, I've got a question from the audience. Who has the biggest shoe collection, Simon or all of the girls combined?
Oh, that's an easy question as well, Simon. We also call it I call it the divorce cupboard. Because we've got this one cupboard that's just full of trainers, and also known as the divorce. Because suddenly now I'm here a bit more and I'll see and I'm like, oh, another parcel. Looks like a shoebox. What would it be? Another pair of trainers. Yeah. And the usual thing is, oh, I'm just selling them on, or I'm buying for a friend. No idea.
Buying for a friend.
No idea.
That's when you know you've got a bad habit there, Simon.
His friend has exactly the same shoe size as him as well.
Investments, they are. It's like gold bullion.
How many pairs of trainers do you have?
4.
How many? I've got no idea. I mean, I'd have to get... One of the children counted quite a while ago and told me, and then you nearly murdered her.
150.
See?
Wow.
Too many.
So people that don't know you, Simon, why do you have 150 pairs of trainers?
I'm very active. I get through them quite quickly. I'm just so fit doing all this exercise and stuff that I need to have the best to look after my feet. Really,
I heard that you don't wear them really.
I stroke them.
Occasionally he'll be like, oh, I think I need to get one that matches with my outfit. Like how ladies like to have handbags that match with their shoes. So he'll go and randomly get a pair to match the outfit.
How did it start, this obsession?
You have to put things on your feet to walk, because otherwise you get really dirty socks.
But we all do that, but we don't all have 150 pairs of trainers.
Yeah, it's 365 days of the year, something different. Clean pants every day, clean shoes.
But they're very specific as well, though. So why that particular brand, and why?
I think it's just what I couldn't afford when I was a little boy, and it's sort of now I can afford it. It's midlife crisis, I suppose, in some ways. Yeah. Katy had children. I had trainers.
I would like to add, I've only had 3 children. Now I've got the puppy, obviously, so nearly 4, but nowhere near quite the obsession that you have.
But we've still got the children, and I've still got the trainers.
Good to hear.
And we're still married, so the divorce has not come into action yet.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Let's talk about working together. So let's go back to the beginning. When and how did you meet? Because people might not know that story. So let's find out a bit about you as a couple, and then we'll go into deciding that it was right for you as a couple to work together.
Beautiful.
So we first met, we were working at the Swallow Royal Hotel in Bristol. I was actually a student in Birmingham, but my parents lived in Bristol. So I was working on the first floor in conference and banqueting, and Simon was down in the Palm Court, which is the fine dining of the hotel. And we met through work. So we used to have to come down in the lift from the first floor to get quite a lot of the food, and we were all verbally abused by all the chefs. I'm not going to say it was love at first sight, but it was a very sociable hotel, and that's where we originally met. So we do sometimes walk by and go, oh, look, there's the Swallow. It's not called the Swallow now, though, is it?
It's Marriott.
Marriott now.
Okay. And then at what point, how long had you been together and stuff, did you decide it's right for you to have your own restaurant?
Katy was at university, and she had to do a gap year or sabbatical, whatever you had to do. So I wanted to travel, but work. Katy's got a Canadian passport, and I wanted to work in either America or Canada, but I couldn't get a visa to work because I've got no qualifications. So we settled on going to New Zealand, and we moved to New Zealand for a year together. And then it was just from there, we basically worked in restaurants in New Zealand, and then back in the UK, wherever we went, we worked together as such. And it was when we came to Torquay to visit my parents that this job was advertised at the Elephant. And we came in and had a look, and we came in as head chef and general manager, and eventually we took it over and bought it out.
Okay, so I was going to ask why Torquay?
Yeah, well, it's my hometown. Well, it's where I was brought up. I'm from Stoke originally. But we came down here because my father was the head chef of the hotel, literally 5 doors away. And we just came back down to visit my parents, and we were looking for somewhere to eat, weren't we, really? Mm. And this place was advertised as looking for a chef. Never heard of it. And it was we came for the interview the next day because I said, well, the food is pretty bad. Lovely place. We could do pretty good here. And we've been here, 16 years now.
Yeah. And did you think you'd come full circle, Simon? Did you think?
No, not at all. I never thought I'd be back in Torquay. Not at all. But I don't have one regret about it at all, really. It's just nice living down here. It's just so much more relaxing. The whole southwest sort of scene is so much nicer. We're out of the hustle and bustle, but we can get to London when we want to. Obviously, work-wise, salary-wise, and everything like that, there's a bit of a hit. I could earn a lot more money in London, but I wouldn't have the lifestyle and the enjoyment I have now. And I wouldn't get to see, Katy and the kids as much if I was working the hours I'd be expected to do in the cities, I'm sure. And the stress, with so much more control down here. 5 chefs in the kitchen doing a job that, some places would have 10, 12 chefs doing. I don't need the hassle of another 7 chefs. 5's enough. And I'd rather have five really good chefs that work and go on and take something from what we do here and learn from it, than just be someone in the corner picking spinach. And Katy's been a brilliant front of house and eyes and ears, because it's hers out front and mine out back, that we really sort of gel quite well. I don't think we work that well together. We sort of
Not
bite,
that bad.
but she's really good with front of house, and I'm
quite good in the kitchen.
Okay with my chef. So we sort of separate that, and she looks after that side.
I mean, you said that obviously you'd worked together leading up to the point where you decided to take on the elephant. But what was when you look back now, those like 16 years ago, what was the kind of toughest part of taking that step and it actually being like you two together and you were running it?
We bought the elephant outright almost 4 years ago, so it was ours 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But from day one, our business partners were silent, and they let us run it as our own. We made all the decisions. The only thing we didn't see was a bank. We never saw the bank account. So we ran the restaurant as our own restaurant, and for it to last for 13 years and not go bust, we obviously were doing something right. So when we actually bought it ourselves, we sort of knew what we were doing, but we just got a little bit more leeway with the cash and what was going on. So we've put our own stamp on the restaurant now, refurbishing it, making it look how we want it to look. Because before we was holding back because we didn't want to spend money, because it wasn't ours to spend. But we were running a restaurant to what we wanted to run it as, weren't we? We were never held back at all, apart from going out and flashing cash, I suppose. We were employees.
We were, but they were great business partners.
Yeah, amazing.
Allow us full flexibility on running it like as though it was our own.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable moment of working together?
I think it was when we got the star, wasn't it? Because we were so unexpected. Katy was heavily pregnant with our first child, Tansy, and we got a phone call from David Everett Mathias, the champion, who Katy used to work for when we were in Cheltenham, saying congratulations. We're like, well, she hasn't had the baby yet. What are you on about? And he was like, congratulations, you've got a star. And I'm like, no, don't be stupid, David. It was days before all Twitter and everything like that, so you didn't get all the messages. I think it was on eGullet forums or something. It got leaked onto there, which was one of these old forum setups. And he said, congratulations, Hulstone Manor, the elephant. And I'm like, no, Hulstone Manor's the hotel up the road. But he said, yeah, Hulstone Manor. I said, that's not us. We're the elephant. He went, no, both of you. I'm like, no, don't be stupid. So we had to, I don't know, how did we find out? I had to go on to eGullet to have a look. But then we didn't have a guide. We didn't have anyone to phone. We didn't know really anything for confirmation. And then we saw a press release come out in the papers, and we started getting phone calls. Sat Baines called us, Nathan Outlaw called us, and we're like, wow, this is a bit mad. What's going on? It's nothing we were working towards at all. We weren't expecting it. That was the biggest thing. The hotel, the Hulstone Manor, which got a star, also the same year, was really pushing for that. And we were just doing what we wanted to do, really.
Yeah,
it was just cooking what we enjoyed. Which is what we've done since. We had a little wobble where we sort of tried to think we were better than what we were, and tried to push and said, right, let's go for 2 stars now. Let's get on our high horse. And that's not what we are. More than anything, we were cooking the food that we enjoy to cook, and then we've reined it back down. And we're not chasing anything more than just being consistent and being a restaurant that people enjoy coming to, twice, 3 times a month.
What made you realise you were trying to do something that you weren't? You said that obviously you tried to go for
Well, I don't think I've got the skills to be a 2-star chef. To get 1 stars was great. To go to 2 stars was the next level, and it was just pushing the food that, I suppose in some ways you would have seen what other chefs were doing at that level, thinking, oh, let's have a go at that. Number one, I wasn't reading my community of customers who didn't want it. And number 2, I wasn't reading what skill base we had at the restaurant to be able to achieve it. So we were sort of pushing people away a little bit for ego. And I think we just got a nice kick up the arse, really, and and thought, go back to what you do and what you do well, and that's where we are. And I think I enjoy it a lot more, just cooking what I want to cook, and I think the customers enjoy it more than trying to be heroes.
Yeah, and Katy, when he said that obviously wanted to push for a 2-star, was that something that you agreed with, or did you think, I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do?
No, I mean, normally Simon runs off and I pull him back down because, someone has to control him. And, he always aims high, of course. But yeah, 1-star for me, having a really good 1-star was an amazing achievement and is an amazing achievement. 2 stars is, we're in Torquay. We don't have the clientele. I think you need... it's a big step, the 2-star, but I would never stop Simon. If he was desperate for it, of course we would, back him. But for me, 1 good star is a great achievement. The customers love it. Yeah. We are very, very proud, and I think that's a good place to be in. 2 stars is nearly, some people in Torquay were a bit afraid of us having even 1 star.
Yeah.
So it becomes a little bit, they won't even go near us because we've got 1 star. We've now worked really hard to show people, actually, come and give us a go, even though we've got, for a lot of people, they've never eaten in a Michelin-star restaurant because they're just scared. They think it's, untouchable. And we want all our customers to feel happy, that some that follow the stars and others that just want a good meal. We want them all to be happy. And I think it's that all-round happiness that you want to, get through to everyone. So
we just want them to feel comfortable coming into our home, because that's what it is.
Okay. What is the best and the worst thing about working with your other half?
The best thing for me is that Katy's got the same drive to make the business work. So when she's out front, I know that everything she's doing is for the benefit of the business more than anything, which I love. And I miss when she was on maternity leave and the children were young. But I would never have the same click with my restaurant managers that I had with when Katy was there. That sort of caused a little bit of conflict with me, because I felt like I had to run the front as well as the back, and they don't have that same, this is their business. It's my business and Katy's business. When I lost Katy to the children, that was hard. But I think, that's the best thing. The worst thing really is just having to talk to her at work.
Oh, how rude. No, I think when we're at work, we kind of go into our work mode. So I'll call him chef, and, you do the things that you need to do. The worst thing for me is when he's shouting at me. So then I just walk into the restaurant and let him can't follow me out then, can he? No, he's got karma with age.
What sort of things would make you shout, Simon?
Oh.
Anything really, when I'm stressed.
I
have a red mist and then it just disappears straight after that. I've sort of tried to just walk over to the sink and wash my hands in cold water for a few minutes and come back and start again.
I would say it's normally to do with customers that have allergies or want something done differently. That normally starts it.
It's the allergies of, I can't have this, and then they have it for dessert, and that's just winds me up more than anything.
Do you get some relief? Do you go on Twitter occasionally to get some relief from that?
I think I've stopped all that. I think my Twitter is now just sarcasm and just getting things. But I think I've become quite refrained on social media. I don't slag people off. I don't go anywhere like that, because I don't think I want it done to myself either, and I'm sure people are doing it to me. And to be honest with you, I don't care. But it's the way it is. We just get on with it. But I don't want to be slagging people off on Twitter. I'd rather just enjoy it. It's not there for that. It's always there as well. I'm not going to go back and delete things. If I say I normally mean it, so it's on there. Oops. But,
Katy, would you agree with Simon that's the best thing about working together, is that understanding?
Yeah, the best thing is obviously that we're there leading it together. And obviously what he does in the kitchen, I could never, I'm kind of the one who does the front of house, the presenting. I would say we do have a great front of house team. I'm not always out in the restaurant. So we have a restaurant manager. We've got a very strong front of house team who are great and do put up with Simon as well. So no, it is all about teamwork, really. We can't do it on our own. So yeah, teamwork and driving the place forward, keep going.
How easy is it to separate the two of being a couple and you work together? Because that's obviously must be quite important to keep both relationships working.
Yeah, I think I don't struggle with it at all in that sense. I think the biggest struggle I have is like when we go out for a walk or something, people say hello to Katy, and she's like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah." I'm like,
who's that? And I'm like, sometimes I need them to keep talking a little bit more so I can remember who they are.
It's table 23.
They always sit on 23. You know who they are, and it's like, we have millions of people who sit on that table. And obviously, people know Simon, even though he doesn't know them. That's the thing. They recognise him. They know who he is. And then I have to, work out if they're customers or whether they're people that I know through children, or so there's always lots of people, but Simon generally has no idea who most of the people are. But he talks very nicely to them anyway.
Always.
There's nothing worse than
I
talking.
struggle with the going around the table thing. I just find that a little bit awkward and hard. Okay. But all my customers are great when I go to chat to them. I just feel I need to be in the kitchen. I feel a bit more comfortable in the kitchen. I don't like walking around in my chef's whites. But it's the chef patron thing. People want to see me, and but Katy does that. She does that brilliantly. She can talk.
What he's saying is I'm good at talking. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, she's
I
really
love
good at
talking. That's what my children, my youngest thinks. So what we do is we take money and I talk. That's my job.
Yeah.
So that sums up being a restaurateur.
Brilliant. Did you both always know that you wanted your own restaurant? Because obviously I talk to chefs all the time, and that's the normally is the end goal. That's what they want. Was that always the same for you, Katy, or is that something you kind of got on board with Simon? I mean, Simon, I'm assuming you always wanted your own restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously all my working life, so I started working at 13 in hospitality, so quite a few years ago, and always loved. I've worked in different restaurants, hotels, country clubs. I studied hospitality management, so I always loved everything to do with the industry. I don't know if I always thought a restaurant would be, the dream place, but obviously I've always thoroughly enjoyed working in hospitality, and actually with Simon as, such a great chef, the two worked really well together. So yeah, just love the industry. I love meeting people and making people happy. So it did just all came together really, didn't it, for us?
Yeah. And what about, because you've got the farm as well, haven't you? Is that something you thought you would have as well?
No, so the farm was for my business partner. So they've got lots and lots of land in Brixham, and the farm came around from the first sort of recession that the foraging sort of set up, was everybody was trendy and everything. So we got my business partner to ask if he could grow some vegetables for us, really. Maybe stick a few chickens up there, and it went from there. So it went from having just literally a few chickens to having over 50, 60 chickens, sheep, pigs, and then 5 polytunnels. It was just crazy, and it was good. It's a real good story for the restaurant. It's educational for us in the team as well, and we just get to see something a little bit different. To be honest with you, it's bloody hard work because you're not getting all these nice clean carrots and picked herbs. You've got to do a lot of work to it to get it to where it needs to be, and everything's not as pretty, wonky carrots, etc. Yeah. So there's more work involved in getting out of it, but it's the flavour is so much different, and the satisfaction of having your own ingredients straight from the farm is just amazing. Yeah.
So a nice addition to what you have with the restaurant. Would you recommend working with family?
Yeah,
I would say yes.
Yeah, we've got our middle daughter working as well. She works at the wash up, helps a little bit with kitchen prep. So yeah, she's involved with it, and I think we'll get the eldest one day involved. She might do something rather than be taking selfies all day long.
No, normally the eldest, we've got 3 daughters, just to add, so the oldest is normally looking after the youngest, while the middle at weekends helps in the kitchen and pot wash. So they are all doing their little bit, but I think as they get older, they like to earn a few pennies anyway as themselves. So, and it's good for them to learn about working, I think, from a young age.
Do they enjoy being a part of hospitality? Can you see them, the restaurant passing down to them, or do you think they'll go off on very different paths?
I'm not sure as yet. I'm not sure. I don't know if they want to run the restaurant because they see how much work it is for us. I'd love to see them go out and get into the industry, but I don't know what side of it, be front of house or back of house. But I just want them to do what they want to do, really. I wouldn't force them into it.
Yeah.
My father didn't force me into the industry, even though he was a chef. For me, it was more about getting a job and getting some money, and it was easy to work for your dad. And I enjoyed the camaraderie and the banter of the kitchen. And I think Cicely, my middle daughter, she enjoys all that, and she's in the kitchen giving it back to all the chefs. And
she loves to banter with the chefs, as she says.
Yeah.
She learns lots of things when she works on a Saturday night.
Oh my God.
Not sure how educational it all is.
Yeah.
I dread to think.
Just imagine what she's going to school and saying. That's what, it's...
So that's a definite yes from you both. I think it probably depends on the dynamic of your relationship in the first place, doesn't it, really, as to whether you can work together. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really struggle, but actually we just get on, head down, and generally it's absolutely fine.
Yeah. I can't imagine Katy not being in the industry, me working all day, and it's what would you talk about? And she'd moan about I was at work all day, and I think she totally understands when she's not at work how hard I'm working. I understand how hard she works, because even when we're closed on a Sunday, Monday, Katy's down in the office doing all the wages, doing all the stuff that no one else sees. There's so much behind the scenes to do. She's literally not just taking orders, she's running a restaurant. And I don't do that side of it.
Are there any other couples in the industry who you've seen successful that you find inspiring?
David and Helen, the Champignon.
Oh, I worked with them for 5 years, and they were a fantastic couple. So hardworking and so kind to their staff. They really gave me a great insight into restaurant life. But yeah, they were a great couple in Cheltenham.
I think Paul and Emma Ainsworth as well. Amazing what they're doing, and their little world they've got down there in Cornwall now is brilliant. Works really, really well. And then you just got it's the ones that you always hear about, the Galvins, which do so well. But as couples, who would you say?
Who else do we think of as couples?
It's people we've worked for.
Amanda.
Sat and Amanda, of course, yeah. And Tom and Beth. But I think a lot of the time it's the onus is on the chef, isn't it? And the wife is in the background, but she's not. She's a massive part of what we do, what all the chefs do. And I don't think they get, Katy doesn't get as much credit as she does. And I appreciate you having her today on, because I think she won't jump in front of the camera. She won't do the PR. And I think she's massively part of the Elephant. And we wouldn't be here 16 years if it wasn't for her. Yeah.
Because I speak nicely to the customers.
Yeah. True.
If the chefs were talking, we probably wouldn't have many customers. No, they're not. They're big characters, aren't they, the chefs? So they quite often take the limelight, I guess. But I'm not necessarily looking for that limelight either. So, but yeah, they are the big. People want to see the chefs and their food. We're just kind of coordinating everything else.
But equally, obviously, you complement each other. So.
Yeah, she's an emotional wreck as well.
When he gives me compliments, I'm like, I'm not expecting that.
course, we're watching Jordan and Macon, what they're doing out in Ireland, and I think it's amazing because she is so involved with everything that's going on, and they've got a massive dynamic, the pair of them, what they're aiming towards. And it's really inspiring to see how Jordan's moved forward. And, he came to me as a young kid. Everybody was worried about him when he came in the kitchen, that he wasn't going to make it and he wasn't going to be with us for long. And he was with me almost 5 years. And he's just,
he's just grown and grown.
It's very cool to see that.
I was going to say, is that nice to see chefs that have worked with you and been in the restaurant to go on and be successful in their own way?
We've had some great chefs come through the restaurant, and it's really nice to be recognised that they've come through my kitchen. But I never worked at a Michelin-starred restaurant before I won a Michelin star, which was really strange. I never went that path. It came to me. The only time I'd been in a Michelin-star restaurant was when I won the Roux Scholarship and did my training. But since the chefs that have been through my kitchens that have gone on to win stars, at Jordan's obviously won 2, which is amazing. We've got people like Matt Warswick, who's worked for me, Kenny Atkinson. We've got Ryan Simpson was with us. And then there's up-and-coming young chefs like Ben Chamkin down at the Newton Somerset, Ellie over at the Angel in Dartmouth. And then I've had loads of chefs that have just gone on to be fantastic in their own rights in their own restaurants. So it's really, really proud and humbling to see these chefs go on and do things that have come through our little kitchen in Torquay.
I can imagine. So what are your top tips as a couple to be in a successful family-run business?
Watch the money more than anything. Don't spend what you haven't can't afford. Number one.
On trainers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think more in this one, this climate. Adapt and overcome. Read your market. We couldn't be anything different to what we are in Torquay. Like I said, the pushing of trying to be better. I think we're at the level that we can be in Torquay and where we want to be. I would always like to do something more on top of the elephant, diversify. What else? It's just reading our market, really, more than anything. It's not all about us. It's about the customer and their experience. We're just a part of it, and if we can get people into our restaurant, that's first part of the job done, and then we take control from there, and then they'll tell their friends, and we make our little citadel here and defend it for as long as we can. 16 years of counting. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
it doesn't feel like 16 years. That's the best part about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you briefly kind of touched on it there. I was going to say, what are your plans for the future, especially with everything that's going on at the minute? I mean, I don't really want to dwell on coronavirus too much because I want it to not be about that. But how has that been for you? And has that changed your kind of perspective of going forward?
I think we've adapted to it really well. First lockdown in March was a massive sort of hit to us. We're going into our busiest part of the year, which is obviously the summer. It knocked us back massively, and then within 2 weeks we turned it around into a takeaway collection, and the whole summer was just a success story, really. When we reopened in July, we were in a really good position that we could go straight into a full restaurant. July, August, September, October, we didn't have a table available. It was brilliant. It was our busiest year ever.
We've ever had. Yeah.
Lockdown again, November, straight into takeaway. We continued takeaway throughout our opening as well, for all the customers that still were unsure about coming out. Also, ones that couldn't get a table because we were full. And then we're back where we are again now with another lockdown. We're a lot more wiser to it. I think we've sort of overcome as many problems as possible. Obviously, we're leaking money left, right, and centre, but we're also bringing money in by working hard to make sure all my staff have got a job to come back to. No one's been made redundant. Everyone's fully supportive of the restaurant, working super hard to help us out. They're all been brilliant staff.
Yeah, they've been great, the team.
Brilliant. But we've just adapted and overcame it, and we're in a good position going forward. If not a better position than before the virus in some ways, bizarrely.
Yeah.
So we've had a positive experience thus far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've turned it into a positive experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, Katy, what have you taken from it? Is it the same as Simon, or?
Yeah, I think we've been obviously went straight into takeaways, so it does feel like takeaways have been a big part of sort of the last 9 months. But actually, the customers have been so loyal, which has been great to see. Very supportive, and they have become nearly like friends. You're talking to them all the time. I did say I'm nearly like a counsellor, I feel like, because people talk to you, all worries, and they don't see anyone else. Oh, I'll ring the elephant, place my order, have a little chat with Katy too. So in that respect, we've the customers have worked really well from us, and we've kind of gained a lot of I don't know how you say, loyalty sort of points with them. They've really supported us, and through everything, they're still with us through thick and thin. We've had one lady who has it 3 times a week since April, every week.
Right.
Okay. Unbelievable loyalty.
Yeah.
So we don't do delivery; they come down and collect it. So it's been. We haven't looked at this nationwide delivery or anything like that. We've literally looked after our regular customers and the people that look after us. We thought about sending out, but it's so cheap. We're literally doing our lunch menu, 2-course lunch menu. It's £20, £23 now. And we're using fantastic ingredients straight from the fish market. We keep it simple. We're proud to send out, but people are involved with, and people are just enjoying it. And I've got to meet more of the customers being up the door as well, back and forth, which is a bit weird. But yeah.
I mean, the customers, if they just get to see Simon, they're always very happy. There's like, oh, chef was there. Or even in the restaurant, we've got a little glass door now. They can see into the kitchen, and they're like, oh, I've seen the chef. I mean, sometimes I don't pretend I have anything to do with, I'm not linked with him. Not everyone knows, obviously, we're like husband and wife. Which is always quite interesting if you just say, they just say, oh, what's the chef's name?
Yeah, she disowns me in the restaurant.
No, I don't disown. I like to let them talk first, and then they say, oh, what's he like? And, all those sort of questions. But they're all out to see. They're all out to see Simon. That he's the big one they want to see.
Yeah,
big now.
Big man.
There we go. No, yeah.
My final question before we go is by the time this goes out, the new Michelin guide will have been announced. So Simon, what are your thoughts on Michelin this year? Is it just nice to have a positive to talk about other than coronavirus? How do you think it's going to work? What's the kind of vibe in the industry?
To be honest with you, I don't really worry about what other people are saying anymore, because everyone's become super opinionated since the virus. They've all got their own theories, so I just get on with it. But I think anything's a positive that's going to come out of it. We need a little bit of positivity, and I think Michelin continuing is the best way to do it. It's adapt and overcome. Let's just keep it going forward. There's going to be lots of happy people out there. Hopefully they can open the restaurants and reap the benefits of getting a Michelin star. And I really hope there's not too many people that lose it, which, including ourselves and friends, it's the last thing I want to hear. I'd rather be celebrating than commiserating.
Yeah.
And just getting on with it. I think it's going to be a hard year for Michelin to justify doing it, but I also think it's hard not to justify to do it, because I think everybody wants to see the Michelin guide. It's ingrained in our industry, and we all enjoy it. We all enjoy the controversy, but let's get on with it. I'm really looking forward to it. Got fingers crossed for a few friends, and let's just see where it all comes from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm interested to know what it's going to be like, but I think it is good to have a distraction. So
yeah, absolutely,
yes, definitely.
But I think it's the same as any time of year. You get the top 100s from everything on TV. Top 100 TV moments, top 100. It's good. It's all positive at the end of it. That's how I like it.
Right. Well, on that note, which is nice and positive, you have successfully got through Grilled by the Staff Canteen. Congratulations. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me. Good luck with everything going forward. Hopefully, obviously, we will be open as soon as possible. But it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you both. So thank you.
Thank you, Cara. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoy listening to Grilled as much as we enjoy recording it. If you want to catch up on past episodes, they are all available now. Just search for Grilled by the Staff Canteen where you normally get your podcasts. And if you want to help us keep bringing you the content you love, you can contribute from as little as £1. Just head to thestaffcanteen.com to find out how. This episode of Grilled is sponsored by Rationale, your leading provider in multifunctional hot food preparation equipment. Register now for a free Rationale live demo at www.rationale-online.com.